There is something so special about a tulip. I just love it. You start off with this really kind of boring, unobtrusive brown kind of lump. You put it in the ground, and then a few months later you just get this incredible flower. So many different colours, real absolute jewels that will make your garden shine and make you smile. If there's one thing you're going to do in your garden this November, December, make sure it's planting up some tulips. You won't regret it. Although September and October are the times when most people start their bulb planting, especially for daffodils, crocus and allium, for tulips you want to wait for the weather to turn a bit colder. Tulips hate sitting in wet soil. They start to rot, they just sulk, and they're not going to flower so well. So from November onwards, get planting your tulips, especially now as we're starting to have a cold snap. So I've added this lovely peat-free compost into my container, and now I'm going to plant my tulips. Now after early spring with the lovely daffodils and the pale blues, I quite like to go for something a bit more shouty when it comes to tulips. So I'm going to go for a kind of dark purple and a bright orange, as well as a real singing red that I've saved from last year. Let's get planting. Simple top tips for planting your tulips. Pointy side up, that's where the root comes out from, the basal plate, and that's where your beautiful flower will come from. They like to be planted 3 times their depth, quite deep, so 1, 2, 3, and as you can see in this container, that's about right. I like to use a twisting motion, a bit like putting in a light bulb, just to make sure they've got contact with that compost. So I'm going to get planting the rest. So I've now covered the tulips with some compost 3 times their depth, but I haven't filled the container all the way up, and that's because I'm going to put in some winter flowering plants. I've only got a small garden, so I want every inch of it to work. So I'm not just going to leave a container with just bare compost throughout the winter. Another good reason for planting over your tulip bulbs is if you have a problem with squirrels or even cats doing their business where they shouldn't, planting up will deter them. If you don't want to plant out with winter bedding, then to stop squirrels, top tip, use your rose prunings and just stick them in, and that will stop the squirrels and hopefully the cats too. So in time-honoured Blue Peter fashion, here's a smaller one I made earlier. It's got the same plants and it's got the same coloured bulbs in. So I'm now going to put these with some evergreen structural plants that I have. So not only will it look good, but having all the containers together, all snuggled up and cosy, will mean it will protect them from the worst of the winter weather, especially some of those coastal winds that I get down here in South Devon.